As you may notice, this is actually a different video to what I usually upload. The videos I usually upload are gaming videos, but because my video, even though it's aimed at gaming videos, doesn't necessarily mean I have to do gaming videos. Um, it's still commentary, so but I won't be talking for very long. But mainly the reason why I upload this video is for people who couldn't actually access the red moon from where they are, maybe because it was too cloudy or the country they lived in they can't see from. Um, yeah, because it'd be like daytime at the moment, like the UK, for example, or bits of Europe, you know. But yeah, this was actually directly captured from the Griffith
Right,
Observatory
welcome
live
back.
stream
We're
that's
almost
set in
there,
Los
almost ready for
Angeles in
totality. We've
America,
been
I believe.
watching the moon change,
Um,
and it's
yeah,
pretty
I'll shut up
surprising
now
and
and let
scary
you
from the
enjoy
observatory.
this
So
wonderful
before
event.
we go any further, let me first
Okay,
say,
goodbye.
wake up, Larry. And the second thing is to say thanks again to our crew, intrepid crew of observers here at Griffith Observatory. We are your team from All Space Considered. I'm Laura Danley. I'm the curator. We've got David Reitzel, astronomical lecturer, Anthony Cook, astronomical observer, and Patrick So, our theater programs manager. And we've been up all night. We had All Space Considered monthly program earlier this evening, and then came right up to the dome to observe this eclipse and bring it to you. So, as we mentioned earlier, totality is scheduled for 4:58, according to the Observer's Handbook and according to NASA Fred Espenac calculation. There are other calculations that say totality is going to begin more like 4:55. So we've been trying to figure out which is correct and where are we vis-a-vis the Earth's shadow, and we find this image just very puzzling and quite beautiful.
I would say totality, I don't see any change now going into the umbra.
I would
It's
agree.
just disappeared.
We,
I would say it came a little early.
yes, we have been observing that there is a definite blue cast to the most lit portion at the top, and when you actually look through the telescope without all these different cameras and amplifiers and so forth, but really just look through an eyepiece, it looks the same way. So we have a surprising gradation of color of the red, very deep red at the bottom of the moon, and this lovely blue color at the top of the moon. I'm also looking at a computer monitor, at least my computer here doesn't show that so clearly. We have noticed that the shift of illumination, it used to be on this image more illuminated on the right side, and now the illumination has shifted over the top and more onto the left side, which is what you would expect. If you look at the diagram, scroll down on your page, you'll notice that the moon was passing through the umbra, the darkest part of Earth's shadow, just grazing across the very top, and was only going to be in totality for 4 minutes. Now we're wondering if this is it, if this is going to be as dark as it gets. It doesn't seem to be getting any darker. I think Tony, who is up at the eyepiece, you want to give us another up to the moment review, Tony? What
Yes,
is
I
it
don't
changing?
see any change from what I said about a minute ago.
Yeah.
It had sort of a sharp right edge that went off the view late in 4:54 Pacific time.
Yeah. So, in case you couldn't hear that, Tony, who's up on the ladder, up on the stairs there looking through the eyepiece, says it really has not changed in the last minute or so. So I think this is really one of the most surprising eclipses I've ever seen. Usually, lunar eclipse, the moon moves into the shadow of the Earth, it turns red, it stays red, and then there's a very clear moment when the silvery blue light of the silvery moon returns when the moon moves out of the umbral shadow. But it really does seem as though the very top of that umbral shadow has permitted blue light to scatter onto the moon. At least that's what it looks like here. We'll have to get some better, carefully calibrated images that are sure to become available over the next day and try to understand exactly what we're looking at. But we believe we are in that as total as it's going to get. What do you think, gang? One more?
I
bit of
think
gain?
so.
Might look a little, let's do it one more try. And we're going to raise the gain another 3 dB up to 18, up to 21. And you can really see those colors crank. Yeah, it hasn't changed the light at the top at all. So I think that's, it's not being overexposed on the top. You know what? Let's try one more, Matthew. Let's go ahead and give it one more try.
21,
Okay,
24.
there we go.
Yeah.
And here we are in the depths of totality. This is the calculated start of totality right there. And you can certainly see the deep red and this very unusual kind of extraordinary silvery blue at the top.
In just looking at this moment of totality, it seems that since the moon is skirting through the edge of the Earth's umbra, it may not be surprising that the top of the moon is a little bit lighter than the bottom of the moon, which is immersed deeper into the umbra. So the fact that we're seeing that is probably just the fact that the edge of the umbra isn't a uniform dark. It's a graduated dark, as we see it projected onto the moon.
Well, we will sit here with you through totality, which is supposed to be only a few minutes long, the shortest lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse of the century. It very clearly appears that we will never lose that silver tinge at the top, that blue silver tinge. And so I think our speculation as we were approaching totality, and when we had the music on there for a little while, we were very urgently trying to assess what to do with the exposure times and the gain to make it look right based on what we expected right would look like. So it really is just a very unusual lunar eclipse. I've never seen anything like this one. If you are somewhere that you can go outside and take a look, I strongly urge you to do that. If you are somewhere that the moon is up, it really is, there's nothing quite like seeing it with your own eyes. In fact, I'm going to step outside of the dome for a moment because as it sinks lower, it's becoming harder to see through the dome, the slit in the dome. And if you have binoculars, I also urge you to go out, grab those binoculars, and take a look. It will, you'll never see the moon quite look like this, I think, again. Well, it looks indeed as though totality has ended. It is getting a little bit brighter. I, as promised, step outside to see the moon, and with my eyes instead of through these cameras and monitors. And it's a breathtaking sight. I also saw it at 5 o'clock in the morning, a bunch of people around Griffith Observatory because the park is open, and we often get hikers even though the sun hasn't come up and won't come up for another hour, over an hour, and oh gosh, about an hour and a half. So we called down to the folks down there just to make sure that they realized that there was a lunar eclipse, and none other than our own council member, Tom LaBonge, was down there, as he is every morning. Welcome, Council Member LaBonge. So we have really the best booster for Griffith Observatory in all of California, perhaps all of the world, is our own council member who hikes here every morning, takes beautiful photographs of Griffith Park, and we are broadcasting live through the web right now.
Wow. Say hello to everybody. I want to say, where's Dr. Krupp? Is he somewhere in the world?
He's probably at home watching.
Well, Dr. Krupp, I can't believe you're not here.
It's a beautiful sight.
It is a beautiful site because it's a beautiful building. And thank you, Griffith Observatory and Griffith Jenkins Griffith, for this gift.
That's absolutely true. The council member refers to the gift of our benefactor, a philanthropist, Griffith J. Griffith, who gave Griffith Observatory to the city of Los Angeles. Council member LaBonge represents this district in Council District 4 and supports us, helps us navigate the waters of the city fortunes, and keeps this building in tip-top shape along with all of our staff. So we are grateful to him. We are grateful to the Griffith Trust, and grateful to our friends at Friends of the Observatory, who have made so much of this equipment possible. We are right. Yes. If you take care of the city, we'll take care of the rest of the universe. Yeah, pretty stunning, huh?
If you can go back up to the eyepiece, I'll take a picture, but can you turn on your
Yeah, I think we're out of totality.
yeah, so you can turn it on just like that.
So that was an unexpected treat. He's still,
Absolutely.
Councilmember LaBonge is still here. And, but
Yeah, and it does look to me as though totality has ended, has
It
just
has.
ended. So
Yeah.
it looks like totality was a little longer than the 4.5 minutes. So started a little early and ended a little later. But that beautiful sort of bluish bright color at the top of the moon never did go away, and that is unusual.